Now transitioning to conflict in the Middle East, we are learning at this hour, as today marks 9 months of the Israel-Hamas war, Hamas has given its initial approval of a U.S.-backed proposal for a phased ceasefire deal in Gaza, dropping a key demand that Israel commit upfront to a complete end to the war. This information coming from a Hamas official as well as an Egyptian official. The apparent compromise by the militant group, which controlled Gaza before triggering the war back on October 7th, could deliver the first pause in fighting since November and set the stage for further talks on ending that devastating 9 months of fighting. Joining us live this morning for this breaking news alert, national security expert with the University of New Haven, Ken Gray. Good morning to you, Ken.
Hello again there, Janae.
So this breaking news alert providing some hope for those who have been affected on both sides of this conflict. If you could break down the latest findings from what Hamas is now saying, please.
Sure. So Hamas has announced that they are willing to give up their requirement that Israel has a total ceasefire during phase 1 of this 3-phase negotiated ceasefire. Previously, they were requiring a total ceasefire be committed to by Israel during phase 1. They also have conceded the requirement that the IDF totally be removed from the Gaza Strip during phase 1. So those two concessions has made this ceasefire proposal into a possible area where Israel may be able to agree to it. The Israelis have agreed to return to the negotiation table on Monday and to start looking again at this proposal and to potentially accept this as a framework. I say a framework, that's what they're referring to it as. This means that there will be details yet to be worked out on both sides, but nonetheless, this concession, the giving up these two areas has made it possible for both sides to be moving towards coming to some type of agreement. However, the Prime Minister continues to say that the overall plan still requires the eventual neutralization of Hamas and the freeing of all hostages. And so those two areas may still be a stumbling block.
Ken, taking a close look at this, we know that Hamas, they do have a key demand of Israel, and that's for Israel to commit up front to stop the fighting. I want to ask you the likelihood of that. As we know, Israeli officials have been very adamant from the very beginning, saying they would not even stop the fighting until Hamas was defeated.
So I don't believe that Israel will agree to stop fighting altogether. I think they will agree to a temporary ceasefire where there will be a chance for the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners, the delivery of humanitarian aid, and movement towards the next phase to see whether or not they can get through phase 1 and into phase 2 without fighting to break out again. That second phase is supposed to last 42 days, during which time there's a movement towards normalization. Long-term ceasefire movement. But I agree with you that right now, if you look at the Gaza Strip, there is as much fighting going on in the Gaza City and down in Khan Yunis as there has been down close to the southern border there with Egypt and Rafah. And so fighting continues throughout the Gaza Strip. It's the movement towards a ceasefire here that is hopeful to pause in the fighting to allow this exchange. That's Israel wants to pause in the fighting to allow for the exchange. Hamas wants a permanent ceasefire, which will really mean that they win, because then they would have achieved their goals and still survive.
And that's the key thing. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because for someone to say that Hamas wins, what would that mean for Israel and the Israeli government? Not to mention Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, because he's already in hot water with the Israeli people this morning.
So Prime Minister Netanyahu has problems on all sides. He has problems with not being able to get the hostages out here at the 9-month mark. He has problems with the extreme right, the ultra Orthodox, being forced into becoming drafted into the IDF. He has problems in the West Bank where fighting has broken out in a number of different areas. And now they've approved the additional settlement of part of the West Bank for Israelis to move into that area. That's going to cause a whole new set of problems for him. And then on top of all of that, you have the continued increase in fighting along the border with Hezbollah, along the border with Lebanon. That fighting continues on in that both missiles and drones are being launched by Hezbollah into the northern part of Israel, and Israel responding back across the border to suppress those attacks. And consequently, you have this whole area still potentially erupting into a regional conflict. So Prime Minister Netanyahu, who has been seeing riots in the streets, protesting the lack of movement on getting the hostages free, he continues to find himself being pummeled from all sides.
Ken Gray, always a pleasure having you join us here for these breaking news alerts. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything myself and the viewers need to be keeping a close eye on?
So we are still seeing the Houthis be a problem for this area. We still see an aircraft carrier being moved from Korea all the way around to be able to take the place of the Eisenhower that had left the area. And so keep your eye also on the Houthis. They are still a potential thorn in the side of Israel and all international shipping in this area.
Ken Gray, as always, we thoroughly appreciate your expertise and perspective. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.